Hi, I'm Melissa, and this is The Book Break. And today I have a very unique and fun author that I'm just going to bring you right in. Let's bring in Kimberly.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so Kimberly, I want to make sure I say your name right. Is it Fried or Friedmutter? How do I say your last name?
Yeah, you got it right.
Friedmutter.
Yeah.
Yay. It's my German background that's helping me say it right.
Exactly. Good old-fashioned three-syllable German name.
That's right.
It actually means peaceful mother, and it's
it does.
It's my husband's name, right? So peaceful mother. So love it.
That's great. Well, and you're a pretty peaceful person, and you talk about subconscious and some other things. So let's bring up an image of your book, and then I would really love for you to tell us more about this. So use your subconscious inner mind power to create the life you've always wanted. Now, I think I mixed up how I was saying that. So tell us more. Tell us more about your book.
Yeah, actually, you did it perfect because the brilliant art team at Simon & Schuster was able to put subliminal lines in between the main title, which is Subconscious Power, and then the subliminal line, which of course landed on you perfectly, is use your inner mind to create the life you've always wanted. And isn't that what we're all really after, right? So my intention in writing the book was to amplify the fact that things don't need to be hard and it doesn't need to be difficult because we're already outfitted with all of the mechanics or mechanisms that we need, so in buying the book, you're simply buying the manual of how to best operate that system to have that life that you want.
Yeah, that's great. And I've always thought that too, that somehow, we've heard we don't always use all of the parts of our brain, and with our subconscious, I think that really plays a lot into our self-talk. How we talk to ourselves is going to come across in how we act and behave. Tell us a little bit more about what you dig into in this book.
Well, the thing is that we're two-minded. So there's our conscious mind, which runs our day, and it's our task maker, calendar keeper, things like that is how we operate, and very important part of our mind. And then the subconscious is that layer just below just under the conscious layer, and that's where all the good stuff is. That's your emotions, your faith, your belief systems, how you feel about things, what makes you you. So we're all humans standing, right? Except for what makes us individualized and what makes us special is our subconscious. So that's the part we want to tap into. And the conscious noise is very loud. Here's the dilemma. So the human condition is that we utilize all of it, but the conscious mind is the chatter you hear. That's the neighbors, comments, or your employer, or your employees, or your mate, your children, all of that chatter that makes you self-doubt. And we all know what that negative self-talk feels like, right? So am I really on the right path? Am I really doing? You imagine if you turn up the volume of that conscious chatter and you turn down the volume of your subconscious, which is what we've done, it can be very disorienting because we have this internal GPS. We have this natural alignment. On the other hand, when we turn up the volume of our subconscious, which is what the book is all about, turn down the chatter, we're able to align and do what we're meant to do. So here's your homework.
Okay.
Homework. It's just for a week. Just follow your impulses, follow your gut intuition, follow those primal instincts that you have, and see what kind of a week you have. Because the whole idea when Simon & Schuster approached me about the book, as I said, I just can't put out one more book for busy people to read, one more thing for busy mothers and people to do. I can't take one more thing, even on my own plate. I need it to be 1,000 less things that someone does by reading this book. I need it to make life easier and better for people. So when you turn up that volume, it's very simple. Turning up that volume, getting connected to your internal GPS will lead you the right direction every time.
Yeah, that's great. And you've done a lot of stuff with this kind of subconscious work. You also do hypnotherapy too, right?
Yes. And so really the trance state is hypnosis. So I do have a private practice. So I practice hypnotherapy on clients. Well, I'm good at it now. That's funny. Okay, so anyway, not practicing anymore. In fact, quite the expert on it. Many, many decades. But I'm just laughing because someone earlier had asked me, what's the strangest thing that had ever happened in a session? And it was on one of those Instagram live things. And so I was just recreating in my head. That was a really strange day. But what's neat about trance is it's a natural state of being. So if you think about our devices, just what I'm talking about, being on Instagram, anything that we do, we're just constantly in a trance state. Turn on your television and you see the flaming broiling burger, right? And it makes you hungry. If you want to know what your hypnotist is right now, just jot down the top 5 priorities you have, and that's your hypnotist. Like a guy might write down, big shiny objects, and a woman might write small shiny objects, because what are we attracted to? No more difficult than a fish, really. It's just anything that catches our attention becomes our hypnotist. And then also that floaty feeling right before you go to bed, that's trance. People sometimes will say, well, what's the difference between trance and meditation? The simple difference is that all protocols kind of start the same, where you quiet yourself and you go within, and that's just getting in touch with you. Then everything changes. With hypnosis and trance, you're zoning out. You're taking in suggestion. You're letting things roll into you. You're having epiphanies and aha moments, and those thoughts are rolling in. Whereas most times with meditation, we're trying to keep thoughts at bay. We're trying to quiet that conscious mind. And so we want those thoughts. One thing you'll see on the book that I have a lot of fairly prominent people, Martha Stewart, Jennifer Hudson, Mike Tyson, a lot of people like this that understand the power of their subconscious. And the whole thing is that celebrity clients, people who are high performers, they all say one thing to me, and that is they never dreamt that they could reach the heights that their career reached, or that they reached personally, expanded performance, whatever that was. That was one of my birds. Sorry.
It's okay.
Background. Anyway, it's interesting because they all said that they couldn't have thought of that on their own. Well, where does that inspiration come from? Where does that epiphany come from? Where's that aha moment? What are we channeling into, and what are we tapping into? That's the part of the mind we want to be in.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And what are some of the exercises that you talk about that you recommend people work on so that they can tap into the subconscious better?
The main fastest one is using your own peripheral vision. This is super easy to do even right now. If you want to do it with me, we could just run through it real quick. What you do is you stare at a spot in front of you. It can be anywhere, anything. Just stare at that spot and allow your eyesight to slightly diffuse. So now you're going to soften your focus on that spot.
I bet my face is awesome while I do this.
And now you're letting your eyesight diffuse, and then simply put your tongue at the top of your mouth, the roof of your mouth, as opposed to letting it rest on the palate. So you can feel that. Now you can see in this state, I'm staring straight ahead, but you can see out to the side of you. That's your peripheral vision. When you're in this state, you cannot experience a negative emotion. So how's this best used? It's best used if you have a negative emotion, you're angry, you're anxious, you're upset, even if you can't sleep. Let's say that you can't sleep. You do the same exercise with your eyes closed. Now you just imagine that spot in front of you and allow your eyesight to diffuse. So when you do this, it's literally integrating the lobes of your mind, and then with that tongue up top, it's relaxing. It's not a place that we normally keep our tongues. The focus now is on something other than the problem. That works beautifully. That's great for an anxiety attack. Like all of a sudden, you're like, what am I doing? Where am I going? Someone had written that they have trouble on the expressway. They get nervous on the freeway. This is perfect for that because it's broadening your view. So when you do this, you can see more. You'll feel yourself, your posture change a little bit. You'll feel yourself straighten up a little bit. The whole idea is taking the focus off of the problem. That one's a super easy. The whole book is made up of so many hacks, and we call them hypnotic hacks for a reason. They're like 30 seconds to maybe the longest one is 3 minutes. I wanted it cheap, fast, and easy.
Yeah.
Just get in there and just get it done, just like not deliberate over things and, ponder and all of this, but really get in there and just with mind science, very well studied, just with mind science, feel better and do better.
Yeah, that's great. And it sounds like, you obviously have a lot of things that we can learn from. Tell us where our viewers can learn more about you, your website, social media, that kind of good stuff.
Oh, sure. So my website's KimberlyFriedmutter.com, my name, and it's Fried, spelled like fried, but pronounced like Fried. Peaceful Mother. That's what it should have been, right? That'd have been cute. Just peacefulmother.com. But anyway. So, and then my socials at Kim Friedmutter, same spelling, and just at Kim Friedmutter. And then the whole thing is on the website. You can join the newsletter. I send out all these things. It's really fun because there's a lot, not only for just issues that people have, but expanded performance. And that's one of my specialties is how can you even be better than you already are if you're better already? And that was a big thing for me because not everybody, is straddled with monkeys on their back, so to speak. And not everybody is troubled right this minute. And so it's really great for people, you know, if you've got young ones. It's a good book for any age, any gender. It made a lot of lists. It made top lists for CEOs, entrepreneurs. CNBC Make It series did a thing with me about how great it is for people, CEOs and titans of industry, people like that are really in this expansion phase, athletics, all of that. There's a very serious discussion about depression, which I call drought.
Yeah.
We're going through that, and very prominent in our society now. And it just goes on and on. At the end, I'm reminded my dear girlfriend's, in fact, it's her daughter that I cite in the book. Her grandmother just passed away this morning. And so we call that transitioning. And so I was on the phone with her most of the morning talking about that life is a loop, not a line. And so it also helps with grief and loss of loved ones.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today, Kimberly. And I hope all of you go and check out her book. And thank you all. We'll see you next time.